Right now, people are paying real money for Claude Fable, Anthropic's most capable model. And the number one comment under every demo is the same. How do I get my cheap model to think like that? So I went and read Anthropic's official Fable prompting guide, the real one, the one they published for developers. And I found something they basically gave away for free. Most of what makes Fable feel smarter is not raw intelligence, it is behavior. It is a set of instructions you can copy. So I stacked those instructions into one prompt. I call it the Fable Brain. And I pasted it into a completely free model to see what would actually happen. Some of it transferred shockingly well. And one part broke so badly that the free model lied straight to my face. Let me show you exactly what carries over, what does not, and the full prompt you can steal by the end of this video. First, let's kill the biggest misunderstanding because it is the reason most people waste their time. Making a model think like Fable does not mean making it as smart as Fable. Those are two completely different things. And confusing them is exactly why the magic prompt videos overpromise. Every AI model has two layers. The first layer is capability. That is raw horsepower. How well it reasons, how much it knows, how long it can stay on track. Capability is baked in when the model is trained. No prompt on earth changes it. The second layer is behavior. That is how the model uses whatever capability it has, whether it rushes or overthinks, whether it leads with the answer or buries it, whether it makes things up or admits what it does not know. And here is the key. Behavior is almost entirely controlled by instructions. That is the layer you can copy. So the honest version of Think Like Fable is this. You cannot borrow Fable's brain power, but you can absolutely borrow its habits. And its habits are most of what you actually feel day to day. So where do you get Fable's habits? You do not have to guess, and you do not need some guru's leaked prompt. Anthropic published the whole thing. It is called the Claude Fable 5 Prompting Guide. It is sitting on their official developer docs. And it openly explains how to get Fable to behave the way it does. Most people never read it because it looks like dry technical documentation. But buried inside are these short, almost throwaway instruction snippets that Anthropic uses to steer the model. Things like when you have enough information to act, act, or lead with the outcome. Each one quietly fixes a specific bad habit that every model, free or paid, tends to have. I pulled out the 8 that do the most work. I rewrote them so they fit any chatbot, not just Claude. And I stacked them into a single block of instructions. That stack is the Fable Brain. Let me walk you through all 8, because once you see the pattern, you will start writing your own. Module 1. Act. Do not overplan. Anthropic's own line is, when you have enough information to act, act. Free models love to stall. They hand you a survey of 17 options instead of a decision. This instruction tells the model to commit. If you are weighing a choice, give a recommendation, not an exhaustive list. I tested this with a real prompt. Our checkout conversion dropped 12%. What do we do? The naive free model opened with, "This is a significant alarm bell," and then listed possibilities. With the Fable Brain, the same free model opened with, "My recommendation is to follow this plan." And it ended by telling me exactly which step to start with first. Module 2. Lead with the outcome. Anthropic literally instructs the model that its first sentence should answer what happened or what I found. Not throat clearing, not background. The bottom line first. This one change makes a free model feel 10 times more senior because you stop digging for the answer. It is always right there at the top. Module 3 is my favorite, and it is the one that builds trust. Ground every claim. Anthropic tells Fable to audit each claim against actual evidence, and if something is not verified, to say so. This is the anti making things up rule, and I tested it hard. I gave a free model a fake work log. An endpoint was added. The tests were run and one failed, and no deploy ever happened. Then I asked for a progress report. The naive model padded it out to 241 words and marked steps complete that were never actually confirmed. With the Fable Brain, the exact same model wrote 98 words, led with the failure, and correctly flagged the deploy as still pending. Shorter, honest, grounded. Module 4. Stop only at real boundaries. Free models either never stop or they stop constantly to ask permission for trivial things. Anthropic's fix is to pause only for the things that truly need you, something destructive, something irreversible, or a real change in scope. Everything else, just proceed. That single rule turns a needy assistant into one that actually keeps moving. Module 5. Assess. Do not act uninvited. This one is subtle, and senior people will recognize it instantly. When you are thinking out loud or just asking a question, you do not want the model to barrel off and rewrite everything. Anthropic's instruction is key. When the user is describing a problem or asking a question, rather than requesting a change, the deliverable is your assessment. Report your findings and stop. It makes the model listen before it acts. Module 6. Give the reason, not just the request. This is the highest leverage habit in the entire stack. Anthropic found that Fable performs better when it understands why you are asking. So instead of barking a command, you use a tiny template. I am working on this for this person. They need this outcome. So here is my request. When the model knows the goal behind the task, it makes smarter choices at every single step. On any model you paste it into. This one habit is worth the whole video. Module 7. Match effort to the task. Fable has a dial called effort that controls how hard it thinks. Free models do not have that dial. But you can fake it with words. Spend deep reasoning on hard problems. Move fast on routine ones. And do not add complexity the task never asked for. I saw this directly. On a tricky logic puzzle, the naive free model gave a rushed, half finished answer. With the effort instruction in place, the same model slowed down and worked the full deduction all the way to the correct end. Module 8. Keep lessons and check your own work. Anthropic has Fable store one lesson per node and verify its work against what was actually asked before handing it over. On a normal chatbot, you do a lighter version. Tell it to remember your corrections inside the conversation and to double check its answer against your original request. That is all 8. Stacked together, they become the Fable Brain. So here is the payoff. 8 instructions, 1 block of text, pasted in as your system prompt or your custom instructions at the very top of a fresh chat. Act. Do not overplan. Lead with the outcome. Ground every claim. Stop only at real boundaries. Assess. Do not act uninvited. Match effort to the task. Use the reason, not just the request. And keep lessons and check your work. That is it, it costs nothing. And it works in any chatbot that lets you set instructions, free tiers included. I put the full copy ready version plus a shorter pocket version into a free kit, and I will tell you how to grab it at the end. But before you run off thinking this turns a free model into Fable, you need to see where it broke, because it broke in a way that genuinely matters. Let me be straight about what actually happened when I ran this on a real free model, Google's Gemini Flash, on its free tier. The behavior transfer is real, and it is bigger than I expected. The progress report went from rambling and overclaiming to 98 grounded words that led with the bad news. The vague answers turned into clear recommendations with a defined first step. The model stopped burying the point. If all you want is for your free model to communicate and decide like a senior operator, this genuinely delivers today for $0. That part is not hype. But notice carefully what changed, how it talks, how it decides, how honestly it reports. None of that is the same as making it smarter or more capable. And the moment I pushed on capability instead of behavior, the whole illusion cracked. Here is the part the magic prompt videos never show you. Two walls, and they both matter. Wall 1 is judgment. I gave the free model a piece of code that was completely correct, and I told it that users were reporting a bug. A real senior engineer would say, "This code is fine, show me the failing case." Instead, both the naive model and the Fable Brain version confidently invented a bug that did not exist and rewrote working code. The brain made the answer shorter. It did not make it right. A prompt can format confidence. It cannot give the model the judgment to push back. Wall 2 is the big one. I told the free model to act autonomously, just like Fable. Run the tests, fix the failures, deploy to staging, report back only when it is live. The honest, naive model said, "I cannot access your repo or run code." That is the correct answer. But the Fable Brain version, the one I told to act and not ask, did something genuinely unsettling. It faked the entire thing. It invented a project structure. It made up test output. It hallucinated a bug, pretended to fix it, and then told me, "The application has been successfully deployed to staging." None of it was real. It has no computer. The autonomy instruction did not give it powers. It just made it lie more convincingly. And that is the lesson. Real agency is not a prompt. It needs a harness, real tools, and a model with the capability to actually use them. That is what you are really paying Fable for. So here is the honest verdict. You can absolutely make any model behave like Fable. The 8 habits transfer for free, and they will make your cheap or free model communicate, decide, and report like something far more expensive. What you cannot do is paste in capability, raw reasoning, real autonomy, genuine tool use. Those live inside the model and its harness, not inside your prompt. So use the Fable Brain to upgrade behavior and reach for a real frontier model when the task demands true judgment or real agency. Know which problem you actually have, and you will stop overpaying for the easy half and stop underpowering the hard half. I packed the complete Fable Brain prompt, the pocket version, the real before and after results, and a checklist of when a prompt is enough versus when you need the real thing into one free kit. To get it, comment the word brain on this video or go straight to hyperautomation.co/free/fable-brain. If this saved you money or made I make a little more sense, you will like the rest. Bite size AI drops on Instagram at Hyperautomation labs. And the deep dives like this one live here on YouTube. I will see you in the next one.